Hello Year 5, welcome to Tuesday's Maths, where today we're looking at squared and cubed numbers. Now the way this is going to work is I'm going to take you through a bit of a reminder on what squared numbers are and give you some activities to do, and then we're going to come back and do exactly the same for cubed numbers. So let's dive in. Now a squared number is the result of timesing a number by itself. We're timesing it by itself one time. My example here is 3 times 3 equals 9, which means 9 is a squared number. So 3 squared is equal to 9. 3 squared is equal to 9. I've got two different ways of writing it down there. Sometimes you might have a word problem or a question in maths that might write it out like this, or it might write it out using the notation like this. So keep an eye out for both of those. I've also got the calculation, and then I've got an array to help us. You can see it's a square number because our array is very helpfully formed into a 3 by 3 square. Question for you: what knowledge can we use to help us work out square numbers? Well, I'm thinking it's our times table knowledge. Absolutely. If we know our times tables, which I know we all do, we're definitely going to be able to tell what the square numbers are up to 12 squared. Okay, let's have a look at some activities. Fantastic. I've got two different questions here, all about using our squared number knowledge. The first one, we're going to look at A first. This is 6 squared plus 4 squared. Is it smaller than, greater than, or equal to 47? Now, how can we work this out? The first thing we need to do is fill in these missing numbers so that we can calculate this question. So let me get my pen out, my trusty pen. 6 squared. Now I know this because I know my 6 times table. 6 times 6 is 36. So I'm going to pop 36 down here. And we are adding. I'm going to double check my calculation, making sure I'm using the right operation. So I'm going to pop an add in here. And then we've got 4 squared. 4 times 4, that's 16. So I'm going to add that together. You can do this in your head, or you can calculate it using the column method. I'm going to use the column method. 6 plus 6 is 12. So I'm going to put my 2 in here and my 10 up here. And then I've got my 1, 3 and 1, or my 10, my 30 and my 10. And that is going to give me 50. So this sum is 52. And I can see that that is greater than 47. So I'm going to take my greater than symbol and I'm going to pop it in over here. So that first sum, we've solved it by working out what 6 squared plus 4 squared is. And is it smaller than, greater than, or equal to? Well, it's definitely going to be greater than 47 because 52 is greater than 47. Fantastic. Let's have a look at B. Now the main difference with this one is we've got a cheeky subtraction. So doubly checking that calculation. So the first thing we're going to need to do is work out what is 8 squared using our times table knowledge. 8 times 8, that is 64. So I'm going to change my pen colour so I don't get confused. Let's do a blue. I'm going to put 64 in here. 64, and remember when we're doing it on squares that we have 1 digit per square. And then we do 64, take away 2 times 2. Guys, I'm not even going to give you a second to work out that one. That is 4. 64, take away 4. Well, I know that. I can do that in my head almost instantly. That is 60, which is the same as this number here. So I must work out that 8 squared, take away 2 squared. Oh no, where's my equal sign gone? Oh dear, it's trying to hide. Let's draw that in instead. There we go. It's equal to 60 because 8 squared is 64 and 2 squared is 4. 64 take away 4 is 60. Nice and easy. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to flip to the next one. I've got some sums here for you to work out. I've got my easy middly ones here, and then I've got some challenging ones here for you where you have to work out both sides of the equation before you can add in the smaller than, greater than and equal sign. If you're trying to remember which way round our smaller and greater than is, remember that our smaller number grows into our bigger number. Okay, pause me here. Have a go at our squared number sums. Hello guys, welcome back. Here is another question for you to have a go at. This time it is all about whether or not Rachel and Nikki are correct in their assumptions about these numbers. They have got 5 different numbers on there, represented either with their numbers or in an array, and they've got some statements about those numbers. Rachel says 3 of these numbers are square, and Nikki said all of these numbers are square. Who is correct? Is it Rachel? Is it Nikki? Is it neither? You've got to work it out, tell me, and use APE to convince me of what you think is the correct answer. Okay, pause me again here. Have a go at that. Make sure you are using your maths reasoning sentences to help you out. Okay, welcome back to part 2, which is all about cubed numbers. Much like squared numbers, I've got different representations. Now, a cube number is a number that has been times by itself 3 times. So the example here is 4 times 4 times 4 equals 4 cubed. I've got all of the cube numbers from 2 to 15 here for you to have a look at as well. And I've got my 3 example here. So my 3 cubed is 27 because 3 times 3 equals 9. We times that 9 again by 3 and that makes 27. And I've got a little physical representation here for you. You can see it's a 3D cube instead of just a square. So if we're trying to remember what our cube numbers are, it's about a stack in a 3D shape. Okay, let's have a look at some cubed questions. Now you can always pause me, come back and look at this screen if you want another reminder of our 2 to 15 cube numbers. Okay, now the first question, it says, join the matching pairs to find the odd one out. So I've got to work out what all of these are. I've got to solve the questions. Now they are all questions, even though some of them have a time, some of them are times questions, and some of them just have our notation. Just like with squared numbers, we need to remember that if it has a little 3 up in the corner, that means we need to times it by itself 3 times. So let me get my pen. Let's go for pink this time. Right, we've got 3 squared. Now it's not 3 times 3, it's 3 squared. Right, 3 times 3 is 9, times by 3 again, that is going to be 27. Fantastic. Okay, now I'm going to go on to the next one. 2 times 4, nice and easy. This is going to be 8. 3 times 3, 3 times 3, that's going to be 9, so I'm going to pop that one down there. 8 times 8, now I know from my squaring knowledge that this is 64, and also from my times table knowledge, I'm going to pop 64 on there like that. Then I've got 9 times 3. Now I know I've shown some of you this trick, but this is what I always do. If I can't quite remember my 9's times table, I get my fingers up, I count 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put my 3rd finger down, then I know that my 10s are over here. 27 is 3 times 9, so I'm going to pop 27 in there. I can already see that I've got a matching pair, so I'm going to connect those 2 up. Then I've got my 2 times 2 times 2, I've got my 2 cubed. Now 2 times 2 is 4, times by 2 again is 8, so this one must be 8. And I'm going to connect that over here. And then my last one is I've got 4 times 4, which is 16, and I've got to times that by 4 again to get my 4 cubed. So 16 times 4 again is 64. It's definitely not going to be 9, so I know that it's got to be 64, just like my 8 squared, and that is my 3rd pair. So my odd one out has to be 3 times 3, because it is not a cubed number. Okay, now pause me again, have a go, this is your turn. Join the matching pairs to find the odd one out. You've got a couple of cheeky division questions, but if you look, you're just dividing by 2, so you can half these numbers to help you out. Have a go. Okay, and the last thing we are going to do is we're going to do this question. I've got a couple of examples for you to have a go at in a moment. This question is asking whose number is even and to explain your answer. So let's have a go at working out what number each of these people have. So we've got Alex to start with. It says my number is 4 cubed add 10. 4 cubed. Now we worked that out a moment ago, didn't we? We know that 4 times 4 is 16, times by 4 again is 64. So we've got 64 plus 10, that's easy peasy, that's 74. So I'm going to pop Alex's number here. Alex's number is 74. Is that an odd or even number? We know it's definitely an even number, so I'm going to give that one a tick. Then we're going to go on to Paulina. My number is a cube number between 20 and 30. So now we've got to think about all the cube numbers we know of between 20 and 30. Well, actually, I think it's only one. But just before we do it, I'm going to go back and I'm going to double check, making sure I'm using my maths information to help me. Yes, I was right. 3 cubed is 27, and that is the only cube number between 20 and 30. So Paulina's number must be 27 because it's a cube number between 20 and 30, but it is not an even number, it's an odd number. So I'm going to put a cross next to Paulina. And then the last one is Harry. Harry says my number is 5 cubed subtract 100. So we've got to work out what 5 cubed is and take away 100. Nice and easy. So 5 cubed. So 5 times 5 is 25. And then we've got to times 25 by 5. Well, okay. I know, because I know my number bonds to 100, that 25 times 4 is 100. And we add one more 25. That's going to give us 125. I'll pop that in here. And then if we look back at Harry's question, my number is 125, subtract 100. Nice and easy peasy. It's going to be 25. And is that an odd or an even number? That's definitely odd. So I'm going to put a cross. So Alex's number is even because Alex's number is 74. And Paulina and Harry's are odd because they are 25 and 27. Let's go over to the next screen. Your turn. Have a go. Now they do get trickier as you go along, so start with this one, and if you want yourself a challenge, you go on to this one and have lots of fun exploring with cubed and squared numbers, because if you have a look, some of these in that trickier one are squares, so double check which notation we are looking at. The little 3 is a cube number and the little 2 is a squared number. Have a go, Year 5, and enjoy.